Welcome to day 10 of the 2013 Universiade here in Trentino. This 26th edition of the game surrounded by the spectacular scenery of the Italian Dolomites, although the unrelenting sunshine finds here the great sport and hospitality thanks very much to support. The final slalom event of this Universiade saw the ladies take to the slopes of Pozzo di Fassa one last time for the slalom. The floodlights adding a wonderful atmosphere to the noise from the crowd. The 66 athletes from 27 countries vied for glory. Veronica Schmed was one of the more seasoned competitors here in Italy, having come 30th in the World Championships in this event as far back as 2009. The Swede, studying at the Mid-Sweden University in Östersund, also with a bronze in the giant slalom earlier in the week, despite being only 5th fastest on both runs. 50.01 seconds here on the first run, enough to sit in 4th place at that stage. Barbara Lukakova is based at the Pan-European University in Bratislava and came in 42nd place at the most recent World Championships in Schladming. The Slovakian showing glimmers of form here in Italy with a 9th place in the Super G, but then slumping to 32nd in the giant slalom and not even qualifying for the second run. This time though, a time of 49.9 seconds, where you see her sitting pretty in 3rd place ahead of the second time down the piste. Jana Gantnerova is becoming a bit of an old hand at this. The Slovakian from the University of Economics in Bratislava, already with a silver medal from the downhill here in Italy, and she was certainly economic with her movements on her first run down the mountain in the slalom. Gantnerova finished with a time of 49.65 seconds, at a great start for the woman who took a bronze medal in this event 2 years ago in Turkey. Nevena Ignjatovic will be celebrating her 23rd birthday next week, and what better way to celebrate than with a medal to show for her efforts here at the Universiade. Ignjatovic, based at the Singidudum University in Belgrade, a rare bird here with some Olympic experience behind her, having finished 32nd in Vancouver in 2010. Hoping to do much better than that here though, after stopping the clock in 48.64 seconds, took a huge advantage into the second run. Ignjatovic over 1 second ahead of the field. That's a real rarity in this, the shortest of the Alpine events, and she would now be very hard to beat indeed. One woman hoping simply to move up the leaderboard after finishing 7th on the first run was Ksenia Alapina. The Russian skiing in her one and only event here in Trentino and really giving it her all with nothing to lose a second time down the mountain. 48.81, the second best of the second runs, and that puts her in with a really good chance of a medal with just a few women still left to ski. Martina Dubovska came home in 11th place in the Junior World Championships earlier this year, but would have been disappointed with her 6th fastest time on the first run. The Czech, also based in Bratislava, but not previously on form in Italy, after being 29th in the Super G and 20th in the giant slalom. Finally though, she got it right on this run, 48.87, the third fastest of the round, enough to catapult the 21-year-old onto the podium. Marjo Givel had not been having the best of times here in Italy. The 22-year-old Swiss skier with big boots to fill, but had already skied out of the second round of the giant slalom after finishing the first round down in 26th place. Sitting 8th after the opening run this time though, and the student at the University of Distance Learning sure wasn't leaving much distance between herself and the gates. 48.37, the fastest time of all, and eventually that'll be good enough for the silver medal. However, that run not even enough to put any pressure on Ignjatovic. The superb Serb with so much time in her pocket after a searing first run that she could afford to be much more conservative second time down the mountain. Ignjatovic with nearly 2 seconds in hand and determined not to take any risks. 49.78 seconds, only the 13th best time from the second runs, but still enough for gold. Serbia's first ever medal of any colour in this event. Ignjatovic then delighted to have taken a third gold at these championships for Serbia after their previous successes in the biathlon cross country, although she's the first female Serb to top a podium here in Italy. The penultimate cross-country event of this winter Universiade saw 59 women take to the snow in Lago di Tesoro, the 15-kilometre classic mass start event. Start all important in this race, with all the Serbian jockeying for a vital track position down the opening straight. The pattern already set was 2.7k into this one. Norway's Astrid Slind came from the early lead, followed by compatriot Marta Monrad Hansen with Moa Larsson of Sweden in third. As they came to the end of the first of four 3.75-kilometre laps, Slind still led the way, but Oksana Isatova claimed gold in the classic sprint here in Val di Fiemme, now up to second place ahead of Larsson and Monrad Hansen fourth. Those four breaking the trail at the head of the field throughout the early stages. Isatova now leading up to 4.5k ahead of Slind, another Norwegian Sylvia Torsen-Rochkia making a brief foray into the leading pack. Slind soon back in the lead then, having claimed the gold medal in the 5K classic event at these games. With Hansen keeping a close eye on her though, Isatova there to stay too. At the halfway mark, Slind still in front, a compact less than half a second behind though. Isatova the same again, back in third place, just in front of Larsson. The field beginning to spread out now behind the leading bunch as the race began to develop. And at the front, no quarters being given or asked for. Just over 2/3 through the race, and still nothing to choose between the leading quartet. At this point, nobody seemed either willing or able to make a solo bid for glory. At the end of the third lap, Larsson leading, although that seems rather meaningless for the front by less than half a second. 12k mark, Olga Rapnitsina. The front, having taken bronze in the classic sprint, the Russian will struggle to keep up that pace though. At the following split, slowly back in front of the Sarkova. You could see it failing first, while Monrad Hansen is still doggedly hanging on. Come the final downhill plunge to the stadium at the end of 15 exhausting kilometres, and Sarkova seemed to have finally made the all-important break at the front. The Russian leaving the Norwegian pair in her tracks. She plunged on to the finish, taking the second goal of these games by 3.6 seconds from Monrad Hansen. Slind having looked much the way, 1 second further back in third place. Front three really pulling away for the rest of the field over the last few kilometres. We haven't seen it. It's the best of the race, but 12 seconds off the place in fourth. Another Russian, Olga Sareva, in fifth, just ahead of a tiring Larsen Tatov, though, the star of the show, having with Russia's fifth cross-country gold in Trentino.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the victory ceremony for the cross-country skiing 15 kilometers. Stadium, Universiade Trentino, where the men's curling competition finally came to its conclusion. The final saw Great Britain going for gold, having already guaranteed GB's first medal of these games, and only their second ever in this event. That's after taking silver in 2007. However, they were up against the favourites for the title, Sweden, who already beaten them 7-5 in the round-robin stage, and a blessed skipper with great experience, Oscar Eriksson. After the teams traded single stones in the opening two ends, it was Sweden that made the first move of note in the third end. Already with one stone in scoring position, Eriksson was left with a relatively simple draw to score a second here. Former world junior champion from 2011 wasn't about to make any mistakes. That draw easily good enough for the Swedes into a 3-1 lead. On to the fourth end then, and the Brits made their first real mistake of this match. British skip Kyle Smith, who led this team to gold for 2013 GB World Champions in Sochi, with a simple takeout to score. Final stone slipped to the side, allowing the Swedes to score against the hammer, and with that, they moved 4-1 up. Team GB did get a stone back in the fifth end, but the sixth end would be where this match was effectively won for the Swedes. Just the hammer left to go. Eriksson was left with another draw to score 3. Eriksson, in fact, was called into action in the 2012 World Championships. An unusual skip, Nicholas Edin, was out of action with a bad back, leaving the Swedes to a bronze medal despite his relative inexperience at senior level. The Swedish skip, once again flawless under pressure, easing his stone into scoring position. Sweden now 7-2 up, what should be an impregnable position. Sweden even managed another score against the hammer in the seventh end, but GB weren't about to give up that easily. Smith clearing 2 stones with the hammer in the eighth to score 2 himself and bring the scores back to 8-4 to Sweden. GB getting another back on the ninth end, but try as they might, scoring another 3 against the hammer in the 10th was never going to happen. Eriksson with a simple takeout for the final stone to close in a dominant 9-5. Then delighted to win back the title for the first time in 4 years, leaving the Brits still searching for their first Universiade success. The podium completed by Canada, who took the bronze by a thrilling 6-5 win over the Norwegian team, in a match extended to an 11th end. In the heart of Trento, it was the final day of competition for the short track speed skaters, kicking off with the women's 1,000 metres. Having dominated the women's events here in Trentino, it was no surprise to see 3 of the 4 finalists coming from China. Tao Jiejing tore into the lead at the start, while Li Hongshuang seemed to miss her mark. Tao broke the Universiade record in her quarter-finals, was obviously in top form, having taken gold in the 1,500 metres earlier this week. South Korea's Lee Yun-byul, the defending champion, moving into the lead though, not giving up her title without a fight. As the race developed, the lead changed time and again. Tao never far away, while Lee was now sat on her shoulder, having recovered from her terrible start, thanks to the less than serial pace. With the pace wound up in the second half of the race, the defending champion once again moved into the lead. Lee never far away though, the Korean still leading the way though with just 2 laps remaining.
Right at the death though, Yao Yihan made a bold move around the outside of everybody. Nobody able to react in time to that astonishing burst of pace. Guo improving on her 5th place in the 1500 metres by taking the title. Defending champion Lee Yong-byo having to make do with just the silver medal. Second to fourth, covered by just over 1/10 of a second. Tao Jieying completing the podium for China, who've won every women's event thus far. Now on to the men's race, where the South Koreans thus far have dominated, and 2 more were in the 4-man field for the men's final. However, at the start it was Guillaume Bastille who burst into the lead, the Canadian, a reigning Olympic champion in the 5,000 metre relay and also world champion from the same event in 2012. Cheon-ho, who took silver in the 1500, also on the case though. South Korean decided to make his move early in this race though, and why not, having broken the 8-year-old Universiade record in the semi-finals. Zhu Fu of China doing his best to keep up with the pace, with Bastille now down to 3rd place, but by no means out of it. Now though, it was no Jin Kyu's turn to make a big move around the outside. No, a 4-time world junior champion and with 6 senior world titles too, including in this event in 2011. Still leading though. No, would not be denied though, finds an extra pace with that wide line of his. Powerless to respond. No, adding to his long list of titles with the gone for the 1,000 metres here in Trento, having won the 1500 earlier in the week. Having to make do with silver, as he did in the 1500, Bastille in close attendance, but happy enough with the bronze medal. Zhu well off the pace for China in 4th. The short track events finally came to their climax with the team relays. 3,000 metres for the women, 5,000 metres for the men. The women's event lit up by the performance of the Hungarian team in the semi-finals. They took nearly 5 seconds off the Universiade record set by the South Korean team 2 years ago. At the start though, and it was China that immediately jumped into the lead. Jin Jingzhu, who was ready for the previous rounds, getting the whole shot, as China looked to complete a clean sweep of the women's medals on the short track. With 12 laps left to go, China still led the way. Li Hongshuang now setting the tempo, although there was really very little in it at this stage. China swiftly followed by the in-form Hungarians, then the South Koreans, with the Russian team bringing up the rear for the moment. With 6 laps to go though, and disaster struck the Chinese team. Guo Yihan, fresh from her win in the 1,000 metres, taking a tumble, allowing Song Jae-won from South Korea to inherit the lead. And there's 2 laps left to skate. The South Koreans now away and clear and able to relax their way to the finish line, thanks to that spill from the Chinese team. They crossed the line in just under 4 minutes, 16 seconds. No new record there. A sort of dominant performance with the Hungarians unable to find the pace that saw them beat the Chinese team in the semi-finals. So female Chinese dominance broken on the ice as the Koreans take gold, with Russia more than a second distant in a rather surprising 2nd place. Hungary completing the medals. South Korea taking this title for the 2nd time in a row then, and for a 4th time in 7 Universiades. To the men's race, and the big shock here was that South Korea didn't even qualify for the final and be edged out in their semi. The race for gold, a relatively open one then, with the Koreans proving their point by smashing the Universiade record in the B final. Back to the A final though, it was the Canadians that got the best of the start. Guillaume Bastille, fresh from his bronze medal in the 1,000 metres, leading the way. followed by the teams from France, Russia and Hungary. For the French, their race all but over after just 1 minute. Vincent Gian bumping into one of the Russian team during the always frantic changeovers. Canada still leading. The Canadians hadn't won this title since its introduction to the Universiade back in 1985 in Milano and also in Italy. Down the stretch, and this had developed into a two-horse race between Patrick Duffy and Victor Noch. Both men desperately stretching for the line after a frantic final lap. But in the end, it would take a photograph to separate these two. France's fall, simply a racing incident, always a risk with so many skaters on the track. And even the photo finish was looking too close to call. In the end, though, the result given to Hungary by a mere 7,000ths of a second, that their first medal of any kind in this event. Canada still looking for their second title then, with the Russians eventually cruising to the bronze medal after France's early fall. The short track speed skating finishing with a bang. Plenty of excitement for the crowd in this 111.12 metre track, and great memories to take home with them too. Always the highlight of the ski jump as the big hill loomed into view for the men on Friday night at the atmospheric Predazzo Stadium. This the ultimate challenge here at the Universiade, with nerves of steel required to conquer this 134-metre hill. Sami Niemi had already shown some great form here flying thing, took the gold medal on the normal hill and led the way in the trials on the big hill too. Jumping 126.5 metres, only good enough for 133.7 points though. He'd be in third place after the opening round. Junchiro Kobayashi has been another of the four men in Trentino. The Japanese haven't medal yet though. He's coming fourth in the normal hill and again in the men's team event. Looking good to break that duck now though, off reaching 128 metres in round one, putting in 4 points ahead of Niemi. Christophe Begun, though, has been getting better and better throughout this Universiade. The pole very much leading from the front in the men's team competition on his way to gold, and carrying that form into this competition too. 129 metres and 141.2 points, seeing him sitting on top of the tree. Those three way ahead then, with Russia's Mikhail Maximoshkin, the best for the rest, 4 points away from the podium places. Kobayashi needing to hold his nerve in order to finally find a step on the podium. And this second jump is as impressive as his first. The Japanese still flew out to 122 metres. That's an aggregate of 259.2 points. And the team get that medal at last after so many near misses. Niemi sitting in third place after the first round. He would be a model of consistency in this competition. 126.5 metres and 133.7 points, exactly the same as his opening effort. Enough to be ahead of Kobayashi, but not, alas, to the top of the podium here. Begun really seemed to be relishing the atmosphere on this big hill, having been sparked into action with his gold in the men's team competition, following his silver on the normal hill. 127 metres in the second round, easily enough to make sure of yet another gold medal. The pole, very much the class of this field. Perhaps his country has finally found someone to follow in the footsteps of the great Adam Mallet. Begun taking the gold medal then, and by a whopping 11.2 points too from Niemi, despite the Finns' best efforts. Attic Benedict, the best of the rest in fourth, 129.5 metres in the final round. Not quite enough to grab a medal at the last moment.